Hey guys, what's up? So you probably are wondering what the hell happened just now. Why I was punching the light setup and what's going on. Well, you guys know Nanoleaf, right? So I made this Nanoleaf like device that doesn't have RGB LEDs inside. Instead, it has white light and it's controlled by a touch switch. It's a fancy lighting setup that can illuminate your room and look pretty sick because of its shape. Also, it's not related to Illuminati at all, or the Phoenix Light incident or pyramids. I made a few modifications to the touch switch which made it more sensitive so it can be turned on and off in midair. Just bring your hand close to the center part of triangle and that will trigger the light sequence. By the way, this method of turning this light on and off by punches, I call this light foo. On the first tap, it will start flashing. On the second tap, it will glow at full capacity. On the third tap, LED will glow at 50% capacity and the fourth tap will turn off the light. I first designed this light in Fusion 360. Then by using Fusion PCB layout, I prepared its PCB in my OrCAD software. Then I got PCBs for this project from PCBWay. I assembled the PCB and then the whole light, which took almost 2 days of hellish work, but yeah, that was pretty much it. Also, this setup is powered by the mighty ATtiny 13 MCU. Also, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Okay, I'm not leaving. This project is pretty long and I'm gonna explain the whole build process of this light. So sit tight and try to enjoy the ride. The basic idea here was to model a triangular shaped light that can be replicated easily. Well, the 3D files for this setup can be downloaded from this project's page, which you can download, but my point here is that this project is open source. All you need is a 3D printer, some custom components and these PCBs. Now let's take a look at the 3D design of this project. First, I prepared this triangular shaped box or an enclosure that has a lid on it. This lid will be printed from transparent PLA and the body itself will be made from black PLA. Inside this triangular body, I have added this circuit which is slightly smaller than the inner wall of the body. To make a single collective light from this triangular shape, I just copy this whole body 3 times and then arrange in such a way that each triangular body will be on the each side of the central body. To connect all these 3 bodies together with the central part, I added these custom 3D printed spacers that will be used as spacers between 2 bodies when they are connected with nuts and bolts. In a nutshell, we only need one design, which is this. And then we can create a bunch of other triangular shapes by connecting them together with bushes and nuts. After preparing the body of the whole structure, I used measurement from the CAD drawing of PCB and prepared a basic outline for the project in my PCB designing suite. But before making the PCB, we have to first make a schematic that will contain all the important electronic stuff in it. So here is the schematic of this project. This schematic is a simple one to understand. There's a total 30 LEDs connected in parallel. They are all driven by this MOSFET as a switch setup, which is then connected with the ATtiny MCU. Okay, wait. Here's an interesting question. Why didn't I use an Arduino board in this project? Why ATtiny? The answer here is the cost and the overkillness of the Arduino board. In this project, I have used only one digital pin and one analog pin. So why would I choose a device that has 13 digital pin and 5 analog? That would not get utilized at all. Also, I required a small form factor MCU and ATtiny just match my requirements. Now let's get back to the schematic. ATtiny has ISCP breakout pin for programming on the one side and on the other side there's a connector pin for the touchpad module. Basically, the ATtiny will control the gate of MOSFET and the LEDs will be turned on or off accordingly. After finalizing the schematic, I then prepared the board layout, which was also not very complex. I will be using the FR4 board for this project. Aluminium PCB was also an option, but it's hard to prepare a setup like this on a single-sided board. So I'm gonna go with the FR4 version. For heat dispersion, I added wider copper tracks that will disperse heat a little bit better. Also, I will be using a 5 volt 2 ampere charger to power this setup so it won't get hot enough. After finishing the design, I then exported its Gerber data and sent it to PCBWay for sample. I received PCBs in a week and the overall quality of the PCBs were just awesome. As for the solder mask color, I ordered these in the green solder mask color. I've been using PCBWay service for a long time and they are just great. Check out PCBWay for getting great PCB service at a less cost. The next is the assembly process. The assembly process of this PCB include 4 major things, which are solder paste dispensing, pick and place process, hot plate reflow process and adding THT components. First we place solder paste on each component pad. I'm using this solder paste that I bought few days ago, along with the solder paste dispensing syringe. After solder paste dispensing, we then add components to their assigned place one by one. In this case, 30 LEDs. I have made a total of 3 LED boards and one controller board, which is this. The process of making this controller board is same. I added solder paste to the solder pad of PCB and then added components to their right place. After adding components to their location, we carefully lift the PCB and then put it on an SMT hot plate. I'm using my DIY hot plate here. I've prepared a video if you want to know more about this hot plate. This hot plate heats this PCB from below up to the solder paste melting temperature. As soon as the PCB reaches that temperature, solder paste melt and all the components get soldered to their pads. We lift the PCB and then place it on a cooler surface for a little bit to cool down the heat of PCB. After the hot plate reflow of the 3 LED boards and one controller board, we have to add the remaining components to the PCB, which include resistors, header pins and the touchpad module. After adding the THT components, our soldering work is done. Partially done. I still haven't tested all the boards and for doing that, I have to add the main sketch to the ATtiny13 MCU. For flashing the ATtiny13, I am using my good old Arduino as ISP setup, which I prepared for flashing and burning the bootloader of the ATtiny MCU. Check this video of mine for extremely detailed version. In short, we have to connect the ATtiny with the Arduino as ISP programmer according to this schematic. Also, you need ATtiny core files before the flashing process, which can be downloaded from here. We first select the right MCU, which is in our case ATtiny13, and do not forget to choose the right COM port. Then we select the right programmer, which is in our case Arduino as ISP. Then we hit on the burn bootloader option and it will take just few seconds. Now we go to the sketch menu and select upload using programmer and you have successfully uploaded a sketch to the ATtiny13 MCU. Now we do the testing part of this project. I soldered one LED triangle with the controller board and added a lithium cell of 3.7 volt with it. Now we just touch the TTP223 module and our setup is working. On the second press or the touch, the setup is blinking and on the third tap, it's turned off. The first tap initiates the fade sequence, the second tap blinks the LED and the third tap turns everything off. I later removed this blinking sequence and added a different function that let us control the light intensity and then fade the board. Here's the final code of this project. After making sure that everything is working fine, we move on to the next step, which is to put together this whole thing. And how to do that? Well, we put the controller part in the middle and add the other 3 LED boards to the each side of the central triangle. Between two bodies, we have to put this custom 3D printed spacer with nuts and bolt. I'm using M3 size here. We have to do this process a total 3 times and after that we will get this huge triangular structure that almost resembles Illuminati triangle, but whatever. It is pretty sturdy, which was the goal here. to make it tough so it can sustain its weight, as I will hang this setup on a wall and will leave it there for a couple of years. The next step is the wiring. Wiring of this setup goes something like this. ATtiny control the MOSFET setup, right? So we have to connect the three triangular PCBs in parallel together and then add them to the MOSFET as switch setup. I use this wiring schematic to do all the connections. Basically 90 LEDs are in parallel. I made an error in PCB. This setup will draw a lot of current if powered with a direct power supply. So to limit the current, I have to add this janky resistor and diodes in series to drop the voltage a little bit, so LEDs won't get shorted by overheating. Now after this, I added this 0.3 mm copper sheet on the bottom side of the central lid with super glue. The goal here was to cover the bottom side of lid completely, so the copper will cover the most area. After this, I added a wire between this copper sheet and the touchpad. The touchpad module didn't have an opening in this solder mask, so I scratched the touchpad area and manually soldered a wire on it. At last, I permanently added the central lid onto the body by using a little bit of hot glue. I know using hot glue here is not a permanent solution, but I'm pretty sure that it will last for a long time. I did this to the diffuser lid of all three remaining triangles as well. This was the result. It looks like a big shuriken, the one that Sasuke have in Naruto. Jokes aside, this project is now completed and the only thing left to do is the testing part. But before that, here's one last step. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this setup has a makeshift voltage dropping resistance and diode added inside, which is totally temporary, so I won't be powering this setup with the higher power supply. Instead, I will use a generic 5V 2A smartphone charger. I use a 5.5 mm barrel jack in this project, so I have to make this barrel jack to USB cable to power this setup. Here's how this setup works. We take our hand close to the central triangular part and the light turns on in its first mode, which is the fading sequence. Then we do this again and the light stops its fading sequence and stay in the high mode. After this, on the third tap or touch, the light decreases to the 50% brightness, and at last on the fourth tap, the lights turn off. This is how you can control this light. I also devised a cool way to trigger this light by punching. Not punching the light, but by bringing the punch or your palm near the light and then back it up and throw another punch. Then repeat this sequence and you will have a nice punching or a martial art training partner. I named this technique Light Fu. I know it's silly, but it's a nice way to get into shape. Just punch and the light will provide you support by turning on and off. Well, that is it for today, folks. Leave a like or a comment if this project was bright. And I'll be back with another project soon. Spoilers, it's another light setup. But hey, this one will be an RGB light. Also, huge thanks to PCBWay for supporting this project. Remember, if you need any PCB service, PCBWay is the one who can deliver the good stuff. Thanks again and bye bye.